What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have Dean Petrella. Dean Petrella, you've heard that name. Of The Complaints? Oh, yeah, the lead singer of The Complaints. Oh, the band out of Rhode Island, and they play up in the Northeast, New York, and in Rhode Island especially. Oh, you've heard of them. Well, you're going to hear a little bit more in the next few minutes, so stick around. Dean Petrella of The Complaints. So excited, so excited. This week's shows, let's see. Oh, I have one public show, my usual Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. So exciting. Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam, full bar, kitchen's open. Kitchen's got some good food. If you haven't tried the food at the Rab, the same people that own the Rab own the Italian restaurant right in town. Yeah, the Italian restaurant, the delicious Italian restaurant. Well, they got some good food back there. Pizzas, the usual stuff, pizzas, wings, burgers, and some fancy stuff as well. So make sure you check out the full menu at the Rab when you go on Friday night. Also, they got pool tables, 10 diamond-style pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, I encourage you, check out the Rab, Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, good times. 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. Friday nights. And then on Saturday, I think I have a private event. So unless you're invited, you can't come. But I do save my Saturdays for private events a lot of the times. I think the week after I'll be at the Choctaw VFW on Saturday night. So that's a public show that you can go to. I'll have 2 public shows that week on the 30th. Oh, very exciting. Very exciting. All right. That's it that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Dean Petrella of The Complaints. I got him on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Skyping Dean Petrella of The Complaints now. And we're on. What's up, Dean Petrella of The Complaints?
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's so good, man. Oh, look. All right. If my loyal listeners on the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version. If you're not driving around in your car, if you're not doing things that prevent you from watching video, but I want you to look at this good looking dude right here next to me with all his guitars in the background. He's all about the gear. He's got a good space for podcasting, for interviewing. Dean Petrella, nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me, man. How are you?
Oh, it's super duper. Rhode Island. From what I understand, Rhode Island is a freezing tundra, similar to Alaska, maybe the North Pole, always freezing all the time. It's so cold. You don't need air conditioning. You need heat. But tell me about Rhode Island, Mr. Rhode Island.
It's a little cold right now. That is true. But we have all the seasons. The summers are nice, but it's pretty chilly right now.
Well, the summers are good. Both days of it.
Right. Yeah. You get a handful of days, right?
Fantastic. All right. Well, Providence. Let's start with Providence. I've heard of Providence. I've heard tell of it in movies. I guess there's a lot of things that get filmed in Providence. I know I'm from Miami. I'm in Arkansas right now, but I'm from Miami. So whenever I see a movie like Bad Boys or True Lies, the Florida Keys, that True Lies was made in the Florida Keys. But whenever I see a movie that has Miami in it, okay, they just got 2 extra points. Boom. Right. 2 extra points. Now, if you find a movie that's filmed in or around Rhode Island, which ones can you name if I could put you on the spot?
Oh, gee, you're putting me on the spot. Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a movie called Outside Providence that was by the Farrelly brothers, which a good friend of mine, Michael Correnti, also wrote, which was filmed over here. There was a movie called Federal Hill that was filmed here. The TV show Providence was filmed here. They actually, from what I know, that the licensing and stuff is pretty good around here. So they do kind of promote that stuff. What was the other big one with Jim Carrey? Me, Myself, and Irene. That was filmed in Rhode Island.
That is so right, man. I know we're going to talk about music a lot here with you being the lead singer of the Complaints and such, but there's other avenues of entertainment, and the Tourist Bureau of Providence, Rhode Island needs a little push, needs a little help. I want to put Providence, Rhode Island on the What Makes You Famous walking tour and find out what things are going on. You hit on something. How movies are being made outside of Hollywood. Hollywood is now, it's not a place, it's a state of mind, somewhat like New Asgard is, since Thor had to move down here to Earth, if you've been keeping up with the Marvel universe. But Atlanta seems to be a place, and Montreal and Toronto seems to be a place, and Providence, Rhode Island. I do remember Me, Myself, and Irene, and I remember the Farrelly brothers outside Providence. I remember that movie being talked about, but I've never seen it. But Me, Myself, and Irene, definitely. I mean, I don't know how soft they were on mental illness, but they definitely did bring it to light. Bring it. It got into the conversation how people with split personalities. Sure. I don't know if it would fly in this eggshell woke existence. Are we overcorrecting? Maybe. Hey, overcorrect. Maybe. We can always back off, right? I don't know. Right. Might be a conversation for another time. But give my loyal listener an idea. Who is Dean Petrella?
So I'm the lead singer and primary songwriter in the band The Complaints. We've been around for many years. Just released our fifth album, and just a singer-songwriter, born and raised in Providence. The band spends most of their time playing along the Northeast, Maine to New York City. I spend a lot of time singing down in Nashville. That's been really good the last 4 or 5 years or so. Made a lot of friends and contacts down there, and doing a lot of songwriter nights and stuff. But born and raised in Providence, and family comes from Italy. Moved here, and I'm one of 5 kids, and write songs, play a lot of music, and that's my thing.
Well, Dean Petrella, I don't know how much you update your YouTube page, because judging by YouTube, you've been going strong doing this thing we call show for at least 15 years. At least 15 years. In fact, there's a journey on your YouTube page. You have 15 years ago, you doing a recording session, kind of a little taste of what it was to start in that band. Has that band been around for 15 years or longer than 15 years?
Yeah, it's been more than 20 now. God, we stopped counting somewhere around the 20-year marker.
See, but it's good to have that staying power. It's good to have a group of people that you can play with. Has the lineup changed over the years, or is it primarily the same?
We've been the same 3 guys. And I'm very fortunate. We love to write, we love to record, we love to play live. We play a lot of live shows. We do acoustic venues. I do solo work. We do colleges, festivals, a lot of nightclubs, and we like to travel. So I'm very fortunate. We all like the same stuff, and a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But at the end of the day, we're in fact, last night, every Monday night, we go to the studio and we're writing, recording, and put together stuff. It's just our thing, man. We love it. We're grateful to be able to do it.
Well, over 20 years, you must have been zygotes when you met up. Tell me how this group of people got together, and tell me the lineup of the band. Give them some shout outs, give them some love. When did you start? What year was it? And, how did you all get together?
Yeah, as we get older, I tell everybody we started the band in kindergarten. This way it keeps the ages down a little. I was playing in a local band called What Matters. It was a local cover band, and the bass player and the drummer, they were playing in a different band. The name's eluding me at the moment, but they were actually opening up for my band. They were doing some original stuff, and I kind of caught a glimpse of them playing, thought they were really good. And then another night they saw me playing my originals out in Providence, playing some acoustic stuff, and they dug it. We started talking, and next thing you know, we're like, hey, let's get together, next Monday and jam. And after that, we little by little, ditched our other bands and started playing in New York City and made our first album. But the bass player's name is Chris Cruz, phenomenal bass player and writer and background singer, born and raised in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Anthony Marotti's the drummer, amazing drummer. Great feel. One of the cool things about the band is we bring a lot of different things. I'm kind of a straight up singer songwriter, Tom Petty, Neil Young, Beatles type, and those guys kind of delve into like different kinds of funk things, and we kind of always model ourselves around the Police, 3-piece, not just a power trio, maybe a little bit more sophisticated with the songwriting and stuff. So, but so they're the same three guys, and Anthony was born in North Providence, so we're all born and raised, within 5 miles of Providence, so we're local boys.
So give me a timeline on this. When did you guys meet up? What year was it? And was it high school or what?
It was late 90s. It was like 98, 99. We first got together and started working the first album. Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
Yeah. I graduated high school in 1991.
91. Okay, so that gives me an idea of what you were listening to. Maybe some Ice Baby. Maybe some.
Yeah, I'm definitely So I'm in college 91 to 95, right? So tons of Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots, and that's I got a lot of that. And I'm the youngest of 5, so I got a ton of again the songwriter stuff, kind of the Tom Petty, Neil Young, early Springsteen, a lot of Dylan, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I was checking your website, and it's very well made. There's one complaint I have about it, and I might tell you about it. Maybe a complaint. Complaint about the complaints.
You come to the right place.
No, you have the song list, which gives me an idea, a taste. Okay, because you're the kind of band that can do both. You can do your originals and do a whole arena show with your original songs, or you could be a party band. You could do weddings. You could do bar mitzvahs. You could do the corporate events. The money's still the same. I looked at a meme earlier today. Don't balk at my price, because my price is based on my experience and my talent, not on your budget. And I took that to heart, because we have to know our worth. And I know I'm getting into money the same time I'm talking about your song list. Tell me about party band versus cover band versus original band, and how often do you do both of the shows?
Yeah, it's a great question and a great conversation. I mean, when we started the band, like I said, we had grown up playing in cover bands our whole life, and we started the band to made an album. It's just gonna be originals. It's hard, it's hard to make a buck. It's hard to play a lot too if you're just doing that. So through the years, we found ways to do both. Go to the cities and play college bars, play some covers, make some money, meet some people. So even we play in New York City, we play for a couple of hours, and it's kind of half and half. But you still end up playing as many, if not more, originals than if you do a showcase anyway, because you're playing for longer. And you get to meet newer people, and they get to see the band, and we love to play. So for us, we found a way to, and like I said, I do solo gigs. We do acoustic versions of the bands. We do some gigs that are just kind of some cover gigs to make money. We do just original showcases. We do a lot of the gigs we like to do, like I said, are kind of a combination of the two. So it kind of get the best of both worlds,
Well, there's an advantage to be the lead singer songwriter who can grab an acoustic guitar, maybe one of the several that you have hanging up behind you in the picture there, You can grab one of those, go do a solo gig at a local coffee house, make some dinner money, and meanwhile meet some people, as you said, and get to play. That tells me a lot that you're not okay. I've talked to a lot of artists in front of me. Some are in the cover band thing. You can make a couple bucks. You can make your weekly salary. Okay, enough money to give you some extra cheese on your hamburger, or you can bet on yourself and go wholeheartedly and be completely original. But you stand the chance. You bet on yourself. You may lose. You may roll those dice and never play another show ever again. So it's nice that you have that flexibility, that versatility to do both. You're not afraid to play somebody else's songs. I mean, if the evening calls for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, like I said, we enjoy it. I think it's made us a better band. We cover all kinds of different things, and it's fun. And it's been good to us, man. It's been good to us.
Yeah, this list is incredible. It says 90s is where you live. That's your bread and butter. I tell people whenever I go to a show to go DJ, and no, I have no talent for playing an instrument. I have several instruments within my peripheral vision, piano over there, harmonica over there, maybe a guitar or two, whatever. But I don't have the talent or the time. I haven't dedicated the time to play. Yeah. But whenever I do go to a show and I don't know where to start, I find the person who's at the center. It may be the bride and groom. It might be the president of the company, whoever it is that I'm playing for. And I asked them, hey, what year did you graduate high school? Whatever year they say, that's about where they live. So if you're saying 91 to 95 was really where you were living even before late 80s, that's the music that you love. Probably you still listen to the most, but because you have a mom and dad, like everybody else, you have 60s, you have the 70s in there still. You have some of that other stuff, and you have older brothers and sisters. Tell me about the fam. Yeah. Tell me about growing up in Providence, mom, dad, and you said all older brothers and sisters. Tell me about them.
Yeah. I'm the youngest of five. Needless to say, I was not planned. Mom was 43 when she had me, so I was. And my next sibling is 9 years older than me. So, it was great though. I mean, there's three boys and two girls. So I got a whole, kind of variety of different types of music from, my brother was 9 years older than me. He was listening to Kiss and like hard rock stuff. And one of my sisters was into like funk and R&B, and my other brothers and sisters were really into songwriter type rock. So I really got a well-rounded kind of experience growing up, being the youngest in the house. And when you're 20, 21 years old from Italy, and my dad ended up he passed away now, but for years he was he had a radio program, and he was an Italian disc jockey. So from Providence, he had a show, and he was known as the voice of Italy. And I think it was for 35 years before he passed away that he broadcasted all around the country, so I kind of had that little bit of PR radio guy in me, and my other brothers and sisters always, played a little guitar, played a little piano. So it was always around me, and we had a piano. I think I was 3 years old, started to play the piano in the house, just tinkering, So it was just always around me and just encouraged. It was really cool growing up.
I'm sorry that your dad's passed away, but I think I would have gotten along with him very well. Back in '86, I started on radio, and I'm from Miami, so I know Spanish, and I've known it's a tourist town, so that you have to say hello and goodbye in at least 20 different languages, and I do know at least 20 different hellos and goodbyes, greetings, But you said Italy. Did he broadcast in Italian? Because I was broadcasting half in English and half in Spanish. He broadcasted in Italian?
He mostly in Italian, yeah. And for years, he was doing it like 4 or 5 days a week. As he got older, it was just a Sunday morning program. In fact, 2 albums ago, we have an album called Sunday Morning Radio. And the cover is him it was a news clipping in the Providence Journal, and it's him and my oldest brother, but he was a kid at the time, and he was on the air. It's like a picture of them on the radio station. I don't have one for me or find it, but it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Montebello, that's beautiful, man. Do you know how to speak Italian?
It's funny. I understand it better than I speak it, but when I go to visit or if I'm around my mom enough when we're talking about it, it comes out of me pretty good. You can see in my hands that I speak good Italian.
Oh, for sure. Oh, but you do go back to Italy sometimes. I know I'm losing my Spanish too. Ever since I moved from Miami to Arkansas, so I'm getting a little woo pig suey in me. Hey, I like it. I like the people. I like the natural state, and it doesn't freeze too often. Going back to the cold, I think we had 2 days of snow last year, and I'm hoping there's half a day of snow. Come on, global warming. Come on. Come and get me. All right. I shouldn't joke about that.
You hit a warm spot for me because you were joking about the cold, but we love it down in Miami, but especially me and the guys in the band. We go down a couple of times a year just to hang out and get out of the cold. We're kind of South Beach bums a couple of times a year, just to get some warmth in our body.
Oh, I played a lot of the clubs and the hotels in South Beach. It has a happy spot for me. In fact, I was watching a TV show yesterday, and they were driving up from Key West, 113 miles. They ended up on South Beach. So I'm like, how did they go from there to there? Anybody who's not from there would think, oh, they were right next to each other. But I know that they're at least 150 miles apart from where they started to where they ended up while they were driving. So that's a 6-hour drive. But you said your older brother was into Kiss. What is it? Has he talked to you about the end of an era? Is there a tear in his eye for Kiss? They're going away?
It's funny. The band was just playing in New York City the other night on their last night. I didn't realize at the time that we happened to come across people dressed up and stuff, and then I saw it on the news that, in full disclosure, they've had their last show many times right through the years, so we'll see.
Oh yeah.
Gene can make a buck. There's gonna be another show.
Well, Gene, talk about and this segues perfectly into what I don't like about your website. Gene Simmons and the members of Kiss merchandising. That's where the real money was made. Kiss Army. Yes, I was a card carrying member back in the early to mid 80s. I had the Kiss, the official Kiss Army license in my pocket all the time, and I had posters on the wall that came out of their solo albums that you could put together like a jigsaw puzzle. I had them up on my wall back in the mid 80s. But merchandising, that is something that is missing from your complaints website. It says store coming soon. No, it needs to come now. That's where you're going to make the money.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a website update, but we actually normally do. We've got hats, T-shirts, and CDs and stickers and everything. But we're in the middle of a transition of the website a little bit since the new album. But my bass player's in charge of that. So as soon as we hang up, I'm going to call him and yell at him.
That's right. Get on him. No, but speaking of, when you do your shows, when people go and get off their duffs and go to a complaints show, are they going to get to meet and greet afterwards? Or is there a nice, lovely young lady or lovely lady or lovely person that's sitting at the table selling your CDs and hats and T-shirts? Do you have a merch table?
Yeah, most shows we do. We always got CDs, T-shirts, hats. Now we got limited edition vinyl on the new record. I'm gonna promote that here. See the fancy. It's our first vinyl release. Wow. We're excited about it. It's the first time ever, but for us, yeah. And then in some cases, like sometimes if we're playing in New York and we're one of many bands, you're kind of on and off real quickly. But we always carry merch, so that's actually my favorite. We get off stage, people come up to us, and we just kind of, meet you there and sell you stuff right. It's almost like bootlegging off the back of the truck, Well,
I said I started DJing back in '86, and even before that, I was the high school DJ. I graduated at 86. I only say 86 because that was the first year that I actually made some money doing it. And vinyl, definitely where it's at. 2 turntables and a microphone. Before 86, I didn't have the professional stuff. I got my techniques in 86, the 1200s. And then I think I went to the 1202s after those started to go real bad. But albums, I miss albums, but I don't miss them that much. I remember in 99, MP3s were really starting to make it big. 2000, I gave up my techniques. Done. No records. I did one party with CDs. Done. They're all MP3. I have a virtual 2 turntables that will USB into my computer. So if anybody wants a song, they go, hey, do you have that new song by The Complaints? Bam, let me buy that for you right now. Beep, beep, beep. Boom. It's out there. Got it. Yeah. It's already getting played. People are buying albums now. I realized last week I have 2 albums left. I have one from Billy Crayon that he gave to me. I stuck it up on the wall, and then I have Jimi Hendrix Experience sitting in my closet. I don't even have a record player anymore. Do you have a record player in your house?
I do have this little kind of old suitcase, little cheapy version. It's kind of nice just to have just little built-in speakers and stuff. But yeah, I mean, in this day and age, right? I mean, everything's on the phone, and it's nice, but it's like you said, it's nice to touch stuff. I mean, even the CDs, we got the lyrics in there, and I don't know. There's something tactile about it that I think is kind of cool,
Yeah, well, that was it. When I was on the air, when in the morning on the morning show, really on the afternoon drive, and in the evening show when I first started. Evening show, most of the things that I would say on the air were read right off the album covers, the liner notes, the stories that were written. Oh, when he wrote this song, he was thinking about his dad, and remember when he went fishing, and here's the song about it. Bam, go. The mornings, I would probably pick up a newspaper and run in and rattle off whatever was on the news. But still, those liner notes gave me a lot of fodder to talk about. And they gave the people that I was talking to, my loyal listener, an idea of who Dean Petrella is. Not just the Complaints music, because if you notice, we're not even playing music here on this show. We're learning about who Dean Petrella is, who the members of the Complaints are, how you became who you are. That's how people get taught, the story of how you came to be. And yes, please go to thecomplaints.com. Wow, that's a great website. It's not even the Complaints band, it's thecomplaints.com. You found it. You got it. And make sure that you go over there.
When you've been around a long time, you get that kind of stuff.
That is correct. I'm glad it was available for you. The .com. I get people that come up. It's .uc. It's .net. I go .net. Ew. No, but and I have to give it up to your bassist. If he's in charge of the website, he's doing a dang good job because he's putting all that together.
Yeah. We're as independent can get.
Well, okay. Well, tell me about independence. Who put us together, and how did you? What are they doing for you, Dean Petrella?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got a couple of different people that we work with out of Boston that do some radio promo. I mean, I think I met you through Joe Viglione, who I've known Joe for 20, 25 years. So he's a big supporter, and he's helped us do some promotions and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we do our own booking, our own promotion, our own recordings. We don't mix and master the albums, but we do all the engineering ourselves. And through the years, we've learned it's a little business, right? We go make money, we spend it to record. We have our own little studio space that we rent out, and so we do as much as as we can ourselves, and then where we can afford it or get the help with some promo guys, to promote the records and stuff. We do that, and I think right now we just started with the record, but we got 80 different stations across the country that picked it up. So a lot of college AAA stuff. So it's cool to see, man. I've been doing a lot of these interviews and different types of things. So it's been fun.
Well, Joe's a good dude. He's got a lot of stories. Oh my goodness, that man can talk, and I like it. I like to hear him talk. He was on this podcast once, just a little bit ago. But Yeah, you can't. It's so hard to do it all by yourself. But now with technology, you're not doing reel to reel. You know, now with under $1,000, you can get yourself a nice microphone with a nice interface, with a nice computer, and lay down your vocals and lay down your guitar tracks, and your bassist can go lay down the bass tracks, and the drummer as well. And then they get, all sent off via the interweb to a good sound mixing engineer, somebody with a discerning ear that knows how to raise and lower the levels as needed. I mean, who is that you're using? Give shout outs to them as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've used a lot of different people through the years, but this last record was mixed by a gentleman named Matt Ritchie, and he works out of a studio. It's about 20 minutes east of Providence, called Normandy Triad Studios. We actually made our first record there many years ago, and it closed. And Matt's dad actually bought this newer version of it, and they've been engineers forever. But yeah, Matt's a young up and coming guy. He did an awesome job. And then we mastered it up in Maine with a gentleman named Adam A. And Adam's been like mastering. He just won a couple more Grammys, like all the big. He does mastering for all the country guys and all kinds of different stuff. So yeah, we've had some good people through the years and met some good folks. But technology does make it a lot easier. We spent the first record and then the second record. We spent almost 10 years getting out of debt trying to pay for the money we spent on the recordings. And some friends of mine that were older said, "Man, you gotta learn how to record yourself." Like you just said, it's affordable now, and and I was just like, I'm a musician, I don't want to do that shit, But little by little, we learned, and thank God, because it's kept us afloat and allowed us to do what we do, and no pressure of whatever. Stop that song over, change that song, do something different. I'm not into it today. Let's do it tomorrow. You're not under the gun of paying for every minute of what you're doing, and it's really allowed us to be creative and bring in different people to just jam with, and it's been really, 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 really good.
Well, you've grown up in a time that was before technology, before this kind of recording technology. Yes, we've always had the ability to get our little tape recorder and press record play and record ourselves and get a little demo out to the people, give an idea. The actual term mixtape, where we actually made our own mixtapes and gave them to our girlfriends and said, "Here, I made this for you, honey. Please enjoy it." And she said, "Oh, that's so wonderful." Gave you a little kiss on the cheek and then promptly threw it away. But we do what we can to impress the significant others, impress people. What made you start this thing called music? Were you playing? You said that your brothers and sisters were playing here and there. Are any of them still in the music biz, or are you the black sheep of the family?
I'm a little bit of the black sheep of the family, but the next youngest, my brother Steven, he's been in and out of the music business, but I've dragged him back into it. So he comes to some of our shows where we play, and I'll bring him up to jam, or he comes up and jams acoustic and does some stuff. But it's funny. Just since I was a little kid, it's just been in me, and especially from the writing aspect. I've been writing since before I even knew what to do or how to do it. It's just something, that everything I see or read or hear, it's just my brain. It's a blessing and a curse, because I can't really shut it off. But it's just been something that's always been there for me, Well, and it's just
yeah. Once again, impressing the girls with lyrics. Bill and Ted and their excellent adventure taught us that. Tell them some lyrics, man. Tell them all we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind, dude. So lyrics are very powerful, and you have a superpower of writing your own lyrics. You're not just listening to somebody else's, but you're getting inspiration from them. I mean, when you're writing your songs, do you feel like you're getting inspiration from all over the world? What is it that inspires you? What is your muse, or does it come from everywhere? And maybe you can give an example. One song that I really wanted to talk about was the one song on YouTube that really has a very well made and a thought out story is that Elena. Tell me about Elena, man, because that reminds me of the Thriller video. It's a whole movie. It's got a whole story to it. Tell me about Elena 9 years ago.
So Elena is based on a true story, and since you're a Floridian, if you later on Google Elena, Elena, put Key West, Florida, and you'll see this whole true story that happened. I don't know what it is now, probably 80 years ago. I guess I could tell you the whole story.
Please do.
Long story short, an older gentleman who falls in love with a much younger girl. She falls ill. He takes care of her. She dies, and he later on digs up her body and brings it home. And that's a true story, and you can see the whole thing about it. But I came home from a gig one night. This is a while ago. It's like 2 a.m, and putting on whatever, the History Channel or something, and this story comes on, and it's really creepy, right? But it's interesting because they show excerpts of him, and he's like so madly in love with her, and it's like it's such a fine line of creepiness and like a love story, that it just struck me, and that was kind of the basis of the song. In fact, usually when we're live, I say this is a story about love, obsession, and a dead body, and the whole room goes, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing some of the things that people sing at karaoke for me. I'll go, that's a love story, kind of,
yeah.
But it was way out there. I mean, did you get to read the books, the Secret of Elena's Tomb or the Lost Diary of Count von Kassel? Was that part of it?
Believe it or not, I actually go back and read all of that later. But I wrote, I don't know what the special was, but I was writing notes from whatever I saw on TV that night, and that's kind of where the idea of the song came from. And yeah, it's actually very popular. People like that one a lot. And that was that video was directed by my nephew. His name is Adam Carbone, and Adam he's in LA right now. He's made a couple of films, and he's acting, he's writing, he's directing. But he did a great job in that video. So I mean, inspiration, again, something like that kind of hit me in a certain way. But I've always been in love with words. Sometimes somebody just says a sentence and it makes me think of something, or reading a book or watching a movie, and obviously life. You get, your dad passes away, those kind of things, they hit you certain ways. One of the cool things about this record is it's the first time that there's been an outside songwriter other than I primarily write all the lyrics in the band, when I write the music together. But a good friend of mine, his name is Joe McChera, and we've written. Well, I can show you my notebook. It's my studio. So we just finished our 80th song yesterday. We've written 80 songs together in the last 2. It really started right around COVID. We were stuck in the house, so we would write like this via Zoom. But he comes down to Nashville with me a lot. We do writing sessions down there, and he wrote 7 of the 8 songs with me on the record. So what's been fun with that is, I can, for every 10 songs I write, there's 200 that I start and I don't finish, right? So with a co-writer, it's kind of nice, right? Because he'll text me like, "Hey, I got this great idea about this." And I'm like, "Oh, I love that," right? Next thing you know, you're writing a song, and then when you get together, you're way more apt to finish it because you're kind of putting the pressure on each other. And it's been nice for me because usually if I'm like, the band's not making a record, what am I going to do with that? We're just writing, and like we used some for the band. I released some solo songs. We've actually written some songs for female artists that we're trying to work on, and so it's kind of taken my writing to a different level where, rather than all the random inspiration that doesn't always get completed, it's kind of focused it a little bit. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, this is telling me a lot more about you, Dean Petrella, that you work well with others. You're not a prima donna.
Yeah.
You're not too good to play somebody else's songs, to get to a show, to be able to play for people. And you're not too good to work well with others. It's tough sometimes to give that creative credit to get it taken away from you, or feel like you got to share it with somebody. Did that take a while to get to that, or were you, because you were wanting to write them all yourself?
Yeah, I tease Joe all the time. I said, if this was 25 years ago, dude, I could never do it. Because you're young. I guess you got to go through that. You're focused and you're driven, and you think it's your way or the highway. And as I've gotten older, and Nashville's been really good for me, because it can be humbling, man. You go down there and the gas attendant is like a better songwriter than anyone you've ever met in your life, right? And he's pumping gas for a living, right? So that's been really good for me to see. And I think sometimes Nashville gets a bad rep, which I always thought just country, but it's really not. I mean, the primary songwriters for rock and roll, singer-songwriters, and country, they're all down there, man. And that's really kind of helped nurture me a lot. And that's kind of how Joe and I, so if we got time, the band that I told you about that I was in 25 years ago before this band, Joe, my co-writer, he was our roadie at the time. And I knew him through that. And we were friendly enough, but, we weren't super close. Then I released the solo album, and Joe really liked it. He was kind of a friend and a fan. And then I started the complaints. He got married. I didn't see the guy for 15 years, whatever. Then he started coming to see the band. Always loved the band, always buying the records, loving the songs. And then when he saw I started going to Nashville, he said, hey, I don't want to be creepy, but I want to come down there when you're there. I'll fly my own way. I just don't want to be like, what's this guy? I said, yeah, no, cool, man. So we came to some shows, and he said to me, like, I've been writing, I got some ideas. He gave me a couple ideas, and they were freaking great. And I gave him an idea that I had been thinking of, and he came back and wrote a whole verse for it. And that was 80 something songs ago. So that was a really strange, way to get where we got. But
well, it's nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Whenever I try to do a podcast by myself, they suck. All the podcasts that I do by myself are not nearly as good as the ones that I'm doing right now with you, Dean Petrella. That I'm getting to bounce ideas. You're making me think of things. That story about George Carl Tanzler, the guy with the Elena Helen out of Florida. Yeah, I got to know more about that one. I listen to a true crime podcast almost every day, and just that stuff gets into my head. I'm fascinated by it. I don't like it. I don't like that people are getting killed, and sometimes it gets a little lighthearted. But, whenever you're trying to make a joke about something like this, but man, it's fascinating what the human existence, the human condition, humans are capable of such great and beautiful things and such horrific things at the same time. So let's go over your travels. We got a little bit of time. Tell me about your travels. You said you've been to Miami. You said you've been to Nashville. How did you get to Miami? When was the first time? And did you play some shows down there, or was it purely vacation?
Yeah, Miami's been purely vacation. My drummer, since he was a little kid, his family had a little condo down there, so he's been going down since he was a kid. And 15, 20, a long time ago now, he was like, oh, you should come down with me sometime, just hang out. And we did. And so at least once or twice a year, we go down and do that. And just, it's kind of a chance to get away from the music and just sit on the beach. And, we love the restaurants, and just, again, I leave here and it's 20 degrees, and you get there and it's 80. It's this doesn't suck.
Well, that's just it, man. When you're an independent artist, when you have your own company, you have your own business, which exactly is what you're doing. I don't know if you have a day job that gives you a steady paycheck. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you have some kind of a steady income that's coming in, because this show business thing, the money can be good, but the work's not steady. But it's hard to turn that off. And I need to practice what I preach more, but you need to take some time off, take some days off and go turn it off, go to a beach and don't even think about music. But of course you're going to think about music. Of course you're going to wish you had your guitar in your hands, and you may still have a guitar within reach while you're sitting on the beach. Did you bring your guitar down?
No guitar. No.
How about that?
Just went to it is, but there's always lyrical ideas you're singing to the phone, so it's always within reach.
Now, you said you've been to Italy to visit with family. Have you played shows over there as well, or no?
No, I haven't played in Italy. I mean, acoustic around the family, but not really. I haven't done any performances there. I mean, most of our live performances have been on the Northeast. I mean, we focus mostly Maine to New York. We used to play, we used to play down in Atlanta. We used to play down in like St. Petersburg area and stuff. We haven't gone that far down lately. I play a lot in Nashville. We've played South by Southwest a few times in Austin, Texas, which was great. But yeah, so, I mean, we're for the most part driving everywhere. And again, as an independent band, you got to figure out ways to make it all make sense, but
yeah, the older we get, the harder it is to get these guys to get together. And it's good. Within 2 hours drive, you could probably get quite a few different venues. You're in a very dense area with a big population. Just traveling over the bridge to New York, you've hit. It's so many different venues that you could play at. So many different people. Shows with 50 people, shows with 50,000 people. Where do you see the complaints going? Do you? Oh, and wait, before we talk about that, let's get to Nashville. How did you get to Nashville? Who took you there?
It's funny that the album before this one, we were working with Phil Green. You've probably seen Phil's name. Phil's been around forever. He's made some big albums. He's a Rhode Island guy, but this is like 5 years ago. And he said to me, "Man, you got to get down to Nashville." And I was like, and again, I'm thinking country. He's like, "I'm telling you, man, if you're a great songwriter, that's where the songwriters are." And it really just, stuck to me when he said that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm booking a flight. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go down there for a week. And I found some open mics. And I was very fortunate. I mean, the first 2 open mics I did, the people running them offered me gigs. They're like, "You want to come back and just do a gig?" So I've been going down now for 5 years, at least twice a year, sometimes 3 times. And I usually go down for like 4 or 5 days. So I hit some different rooms. It's gotten to the point where, they give me a couple hours and I can invite other local songwriters. We do like songwriters in the rounds and stuff. I'm going back in a few weeks in January. I'm going back. So, yeah.
Man, I've talked to people from all over this planet, all over the world, from as far as Australia and Asia. They've bet on themselves, chucked it all, and gone to Nashville. Oh, sorry about that. I've talked to people all over the world that have chucked it all away. From Australia, from Asia, from the Middle East, and have chucked it all and said, "I'm moving to Nashville because that's where it needs to be."
Yeah.
Have you ever thought I need to get out of Providence, or are you're pretty well rooted there? It seems like your family has born and raised. You're Rhode Island through and through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, through the years, I've always thought about, do I move to New York? Do I move here? But, you really hit it on the head earlier. Where I live, I play in Boston and I drive there in less than an hour. I'm in New York City in 3 hours. I'm on a plane to Nashville in 3 hours. So I mean, I'm in a good spot, and it's much more affordable to live where I live than it is to live in Boston or New York. So it's really just through the years, it's just not made sense. And now with technology, like you said, we got people mixing our records in Los Angeles, in New York, in Maine. And a lot of times we still fly out there just because we want to experience it. But, the immediacy of it is pretty amazing.
Well, you have a different perspective. I've talked to a lot of comedians on this thing, and I've listened to some comedians as well. And they talk about just the spot between Boston and New York, and that there's 2 different scenes there. And breaking into one, may not necessarily mean you broken into the other. And sometimes they're rivals. You're playing in Boston and New York.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's we've been doing this a long time. I mean, we go through phases where like we're in Boston all the time, and then we're not there for like a year. It's just whatever, it changes and club owners. So like right now, we're playing a ton in New York City, which has been great. So we're always doing both, but one's hotter than the other for us usually. It just kind of, just we joke because we live in Rhode Island and we got to drive through Connecticut to get to New York. We've never done good in Connecticut in 20 years. I don't know what it is. We just don't do well. We don't get invited back. But they love us in New York, so we drive by and wave and go to New York.
Come on, Connecticut. Your money spends well. Just show the complaints some love. I know there's got to be a club or two there. No, but I'm very fortunate, and I'm guessing that you have your venues that you go to quite often. I'm fortunate. Yeah. I have a regular residency every Friday night. I know I'm going to be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, playing the video dance party, playing the karaoke. And I know that's where I'm going to be every Friday night. Do you have something like that, a club that you know at least once a week or maybe twice a month or maybe once a month that you're going to go to this club every month?
Yeah, so we do – it's not quite every week because sometimes if I'm in Nashville, we take some weeks off. I'd say 45 out of 52 weeks we play every Wednesday night at a place called Escada Bar, ESCADA. It's like 5 minutes outside of Providence. You want to hear a great story?
Please.
So we started the band many, many years ago, and a good friend of the band was dating this really beautiful young lady, and she's not even old enough to get in the clubs, but we're like sneaking her in. She's like 19, and she loved the band. And she said to me, this true story, she goes, man, someday I want to own a club, and I would have you play there every week. I love you guys that much. Fast forward, the place we play every Wednesday is owned by that lovely young lady and her brother. And we've been playing there for like over 10 years now. So just a great gig. It's one of those things. Some nights it's all originals. Sometimes it's half whatever. We're just partying. But, it's like a second home for us. It's a small little cool club. My brother comes and sings. Like, different musicians show up every week and jam. If people are passing through town and need a gig, I'm like, oh, come up and play on our break. So, yeah, it's nice to have a steady foundation like that, yeah.
No, and it's good for the locals to have a spot that they know, hey, Wednesday nights, we know after work, we've had a hard day. It's a nice middle of the week break. We know we can go see the Complaints over there. And they're going to be playing some good rock and roll type music, some covers, and some originals. That's fantastic. And that's a good thing for the community to have. And I'm sure you have the same people come every day and they want to hear certain songs. What's the song? What are they screaming? What's your Freebird? Freebird!
Well, you're going to laugh, but it's Elena. For the originals, that we get the Elena. Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one. And do you tell the story beforehand?
Yeah, I usually don't get too deep into the story, but I usually give a little bit of an inkling. But we've been playing a lot of the new album on Wednesdays, which has been a lot of fun. That's been going over really well. So sometimes we actually just play the whole album right in start to finish to start the night. It's been fun.
And do you have one of those masks that maybe the bass player will put on? The Elena mask?
we don't. But that was it's funny. That was my nephew, the director's idea. He had the mask. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And give a big shout out to Alex. Was it Alex what?
You cut out on me. Who are you asking about?
The director, Alex what?
Oh, Adam. That's my nephew, Adam Carbone.
Adam Carbone. Man, he did a good job on that video. Well done, well made, and I'm glad he's out in Hollywood, the place he ought to be, doing his thing. It's good. It's good to have people that are talented. It's good to be the kind of leader that can find people that can do the job. hey, you could have filmed it yourself with your iPhone. You could have made yourself a little video, but you're a leader that recognizes, hey, I know somebody who could do this a little bit better. And that's what a leader, that's what a leader does. Hires people that are smarter, that are better, that play better than him, and you can lead. Man, that's Dean Petrella. I've learned so much about you. I know we've only scratched the surface. You got a new album out there. What's the name of the album? Where can they find it? Can they buy it on your website sometime? Talk to your bass player, slap him around, tell him we need to put a link to your PayPal so he can PayPal $100 to get that album. I'm sure it's not $100. I'm just saying, if people want to throw $100 at you for an album, that's fine. You'll sign it. Absolutely. Yeah. So the album's called Chasing the Light. There it is there. And it's on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. There should at least be a link on there to go to the social media stuff, to iTunes and stuff. But we will have a link up soon to order t-shirts and stuff like that. But it's doing well. We're excited about it, man, and we appreciate the support. Man, I'm excited for you. Where can they pick up that? If there's any grandpas and grandmas and maybe great grandmas and grandpas and any hipsters, I know they don't like to be called hipsters, but that want to buy the physical album or the physical CD or maybe an 8-track tape. Hey, grandpa, what's an 8-track tape? No, but if they want to buy that physical album, do they call you directly? What do they send you an email? How do they get that? Yes. Yeah, they can email us at info@thecomplaints.com, just info@thecomplaints.com, or DM us on Instagram or Facebook. But there will be a link up too where we can mail stuff out, and they're always at all the shows, obviously. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask if anybody had complaints about the complaints. Where's that email? We don't accept those. That goes right to spam. Perfect. Just send those right in the cylinder file. All right, man. You've given shout outs throughout this whole thing. Let's land this plane. I don't like to take too much time off of people, but I do want you to come back as often as you want. If you have new things to promote, new albums, you just keep churning them out there. I'm glad that this new album's doing stuff. I didn't know people were still making albums. I thought it was all singles. 99-cent song on Apple iTunes, 99 cents on Amazon, to get the single. I remember the terrible thing when I was buying albums when I was a kid is that maybe I'd like one or two of the songs and then the other songs are okay. But the thing about me is I appreciated the other songs. I heard about the hit song and then I bought the album and then I liked all the other songs too. So that's what they're going to do when they go and buy your album, The Complaints. They're going to go, hey, that one song's on there. They're going to love all the rest of them, aren't they? That's what we hope. That is what is going to happen. I'd love to play your song on RadioWhat.com. I have it sitting over there, and it's always playing the good stuff. So, and the nice thing on my when I do my clubs, when I do my corporate event gigs, I play videos. So I'm glad that you have your Elena video up there. I'm going to put that up on Friday night, and people are going to go, who's that you're playing? And I'm going to say, oh, that's The Complaints, featuring Dean Petrella on the front. And they're going to go, oh, I need to find out how to get more about that. Now, of course, I'm going to put all the links to the show notes in the show notes below so they can at least get your website and all the different social medias and such. But, like I said, your bass player is doing a good job. He's got all the links right there at the top to your Facebook and your X. I don't like X. I like Twitter. Elon Musk is doing a terrible job. He's ruined it. One thing that RadioWhat.com used to do is every time I played a song, it would tweet it. And that was part of the API, which is something I really don't understand. But Elon Musk has changed the API, and now it doesn't tweet every song. I don't like that. Oh, well. I'm still playing them all, but it doesn't tweet them. And the artists used to like seeing their name come up on the tweet and go, hey, look, he's playing my song. Check it out. He's playing my complaint song.
That's awesome.
All right, my man. Let's wind this thing down. I usually finish these. I mean, unless you have any other avenues you want to explore, you want to tell any other things to the people?
No, man, I appreciate the time. Like I said, I appreciate it, and excited about the new record, and tell people, check out the album's called Chasing Light. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, there's a long list of things I've never even heard of, but apparently it's available everywhere. So we'll download each song, and we'll make a tenth of a penny at a time. Gladly so.
I mean, at least the Spotify, the Apple, and the Amazon is up there at the top, and even SoundCloud. Hey, you can get it on SoundCloud. Check it out there. But I always finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by. This could be something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Dean Petrella of The Complaints, give the last words for the people.
My last words are be nice. I think makes the world go around, man. Solves a lot of problems. Just be nice.
Well, there you have it, party people. Dean Petrella of The Complaints, the band out of the Northeast, Providence, Rhode Island, where you'll find them most of the time, maybe within a 200, 300-mile radius. But every once in a while, you'll catch them in Nashville. Oh, my goodness. So exciting. Their new album's called Chasing Light. Make sure you check that out. Just look at the front page of thecomplaints.com, and you'll see right there. Boom. It says save it onto Spotify. Play it over and over and over again. I think that's one thing that Justin Bieber did is when he put his new song out, maybe it was Sorry, Not Sorry, one of those songs. He said, hey, if you don't mind, could you put it on your Spotify and just play it over and over and over again while you're sleeping? Just leave your phone on silent and or turn it up and let me play it in your ear. Well, I encourage you to do that with the Chasing Lights. Don't listen, Spotify. Don't listen. I know I'm trying to game the system, but I want Chasing Light and The Complaints to go farther and farther and further and do your thing. I'm going to get in trouble with Spotify. I know I am. No. No, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. Take a listen. Chasing Light, the bottom. Let Heaven Fall. That's what you get. Looking for Liars. Oh. And listen to all their other stuff too, man. Check out the YouTube page and check out the other social media that's in the show notes. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I want some comments. And, if you comment, maybe I'll talk about you in the next What Makes You Famous podcast. Thank you so much, Dean Petrella of The Complaints, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now, if you, yes, you, I'm turning my attention to my loyal listener. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.